People were using AOL chat rooms to distribute software. There were Warez distribution groups. One of the biggest ones at the time was UPS, or United Pirating Services. What exactly is Warez, and does it still exist today? First off, Warez is the plural form of ware, short for software, and it is defined as pirated software that is distributed via the internet. Some of the most pirated software through the past 20 years has been Adobe Photoshop, Microsoft Windows, and their Office products. But other goodies are also distributed illegally, such as music, movies, TV shows, and even adult content. The internet didn't go public until the early 1990s. But before that, people were able to have their computers talk to other computers via modems and their telephone lines. Basically, you had computer A with their modem dial another computer with a similar setup, and they could now communicate with each other. The reason I mentioned this is because the very beginning of Warez goes back to even before the 1990s. Back in the 1980s, there was something called BBS, or Bulletin Board Systems, which was a computer server that allowed users to connect to their system. They could share software, data, news, bulletins, and even exchanging messages with each other. Now, what does this have to do with Warez? This meant that the unauthorized copying of commercially produced software or games would find their ways into these boards. Users could upload them and others could download them and use them for free. Another thing they did was simply copy the software into another floppy disk, and voila, you had a working copy of this expensive software or even games. Heck, I remember as a kid in the early 1990s buying floppy disk games for $5. I would pretend it didn't work on my computer and I would return it for a refund. I was broke and only like 10 years old without any income, so don't judge me. Eventually, the owner of the store kind of got the hint what I was doing and he banned me from the store. Now, in the 1990s, when the internet was now available to the public, users could take their computers with modems, phone lines, and call the internet service provider instead of the BBS systems.
You've got mail.
This opened the door for even more Warez distribution. Now, from here on out, I'm going to take it as I saw it from my own eyes.
You shall not pass!
So, quick story time. Back in the mid 1990s, when I was still living with my parents and my brother, he was selling an expensive item at that time, which he offered to his classmates and friends. There was this one smart Indian kid from his school that was interested in buying the item, but he did not want to pay cash for it. So instead, what he does is he offers to my brother, according to him, thousands of dollars worth of software in exchange for the expensive item. While we were kind of interested in his proposal, since we did have a computer with internet, but we also needed the cash for the item. So my brother smartly tells his friend, "You're full of crap. I don't believe you can pull this off or that it even exists." So then his friend tells him, "You know what? I'm going to come over your house and I'm going to show you a quick sample that I'm not lying and that I can make it happen." So it's Saturday morning when the guy shows up, and we had no intention of going through with the deal. And my brother tells me, this guy's going to be very protective of how he accesses the software. So just keep your eyes open and try to memorize how he gets it. So now we're all together in one room, and he asks us to sign into our ISP. At the time, it's America Online. And just like my brother said, he's very protective and he doesn't allow him to see what he's typing. But I'm next to them and I can clearly see what he's typing. He's basically going into these secret chat rooms where there are people just spamming list names of software to sign up. He types in the name of one of them, and just like magic, he instantly gets 20 emails to download this particular software. Each email was something like 1 out of 20, where each had a file. And once you put all 20 together, it was the entire copy of the program. After seeing this, my mind was blown and I just couldn't believe this was possible.
I know Kung Fu.
We didn't go through with the transaction and we now knew how it all worked. While me and my brother never participated in any of these illegal activities since they're bad, but it was good knowing how it all worked. People were using AOL chat rooms to distribute software. There were Warez distribution groups. One of the biggest ones at the time was UPS, or United Pirating Services. There was members that would upload the software. There were distributors, and they had an entire online type of gang of pirated software, games, music, and just about everything. So after AOL went downhill, there were additional chat rooms in the early 2000s you could join that were also used for Warez distribution. This was done through IRC, or Internet Relay Chat, and one of the biggest softwares at that time was called Merc. Basically, you would go on these chat rooms, you would get a list of links to download the software via something like Megaupload. You would pay a price for premium membership of Megaupload, and you would get extremely fast download speeds. Unfortunately for Megaupload, the company got shut down in 2012, and the founder was even put in jail. Of course, this didn't stop the internet, and other providers followed their place. Nowadays, these activities still happen. One of the most popular methods is through torrents. BitTorrent is a peer-to-peer protocol. If you remember Napster, the popular software that allowed you to download music and change the music industry, that also used the same protocol. For this to work, users need a program that can download torrent magnet links, something like QBitTorrent, and a website where they can click on links to download these torrents. Using this method, users are able to directly download files from each other. This works by one person uploading the software, which is known as the seeder, and the people downloading being known as the leechers. When more leechers download the full copy, they can also now become seeders, and this keeps happening over and over again, and software, games, videos, music spread like wildfire. That makes me think, do companies that produce big TV shows and movies also track views from people that download these torrents? Let me know what you think down in the comments. There are dedicated websites that host these torrent links. One of the most popular ones is ThePirateBay, which is a Swedish site that has gone through government raids and shutdowns. However, they have opened new domains, and in May of 2016, they were back on using their original domain name. The other big torrent website, Kickass Torrents, was shut down by the US in 2016, and giving the way for the Pirate Bay to stay as the most popular torrent site. Users that download software from these sites can be exposed and tracked by their ISP, law enforcement, and companies that create this content. It's fairly common if you participate in these activities to get a letter from the creators of the content, and you could get threatened to get sued by them unless you stop. Users get around this by using a VPN to hide their origins and protect themselves. Now, not everything is rainbows, as many of these illegal games and software are loaded with viruses, Trojan horses, malware, and some nasty stuff. I prefer to pay the creators a fee for their software, and in return, I get a good product that I can benefit from. It's never worth risking your computer and giving it computer aids. I hope you found this video useful and are able to learn a brief history of Warez and how it is now. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more tech content. Until next time, Ultra Tech out.